Hey, it's me again. So I had wanted to share a few thoughts. So some of what I'm doing here is trying to solve a few problems, and one of the key problems is how to maintain my boundaries and not get took advantage of and took over by people. Because in both of my marriages, that what happened. I'm recovering like PTSD from two bad marriages, which a lot of people can relate to that. And how to do that without being mean myself, without being like this hoarding thing, or without how to not succumb to the devil either by a victim or by being a bully. I went to a conference once when I worked at River Valley, which is mental health hospital for children. It was on bullying. And here's the same thing the victim and the abuser have. They both feel like uh, the victim. The victim is really a victim, and then if someone's been victimized, sometimes they'll go overboard and correct the score but become the bully themselves. Some people call that a generational curse, and some people call it, like patterns of abuse or whatever, you know, family patterns. So one of the things I've been working on is how to set those boundaries and not become wicked myself by just like hoarding everything, because I know people that do that. They have more than enough, but they don't want to share. I'm not talking about like, oh, give me everything. I'm just saying they're going for the gusto of taking everything in their path. I don't want to be that. So I do a lot of my mapping, what I call my mapping. Like I'll be going along trying to, work my plan, and then boom, something happens. And that stops my plan for various reasons, sometimes external and sometimes internal, like how I perceive it because of trauma. And then I'll just stop and I'll do my mapping. I'll be like, okay, what's going on right now? And I'll do these like symbology things, like I'll do stick figures of, okay, this is what's going, and then this is what I'm thinking, and I'll put a little thought bubble. I'll show it to you sometime. And I'll kind of put that in my writing. My character Moss, his journey is based on that, and my Urban Pioneer program is based on that. And then I'll come up with a solution, and then I'll share that, like on Facebook. I'll just share these ideas that seem to solve that problem, putting closure on the boundary, which I'm not alone. I mean, I've learned this. If a devil's attacking you, you're not alone. That devil attacks a lot of people. You could join up with some of those people. And so I found out that the problem is twofold. A, there are users and bullies out there, and I've been one. We've all been one sometimes. And then some people do it stupidly, ignorantly, not knowing. And some people decide, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have everything I can have. And then the second problem, so the outside world, how do you stand against, set your boundaries? And some of that has to do with having backup and supports. A lot of it has to, because we're not here alone. And also that connection with God, who's the ultimate say. But he's got us down here learning things, so we better start moving up on that learning scale, or we just get to repeat the same pattern. And then the other part is the inner trauma of overreacting, paranoia, because, whenever you're sucker punched and you don't know where it's coming from, you're hyper vigilant. And enough of that wound, and you'll be paranoid, and now all of a sudden you're looking at people with a wicked eye. I have a memoir called Iago's Not My Friend. It comes from Shakespeare's Othello. Iago was the bad guy that would whisper bad things into the king's ear. And ultimately the king killed himself and his beautiful wife because of Iago. Well, whenever we have an Iago, he whispers bad things about people, and sometimes we're like, oh, they're this, now I'm going to get them. That is paranoid, and Iago's not our friend. That's how I got into a lot of this difficult situation I'm in, this little Iago voice. And we recognize he's not our friend, then we can move back and listen to other voices, which is scripture, or a voice of reason, a logic, put the facts together, or asking a friend to talk to. The other thing, you see the benefiber there. Oh, there's the Bible. The benefiber, okay, my car is a mess. That has to do with boundaries. Not, I mean, they say your house is a representation of your head. Yeah, yeah. My head's a jumbled amount because I have loose association, which can be good because as an artist, that's what we do, see different connections between things. But when you have too many connections, it becomes chaos. So backing up is part of this solving of the problem of my internal. The other thing I've had a lot of interest in is wellness. I am 62. So the benefiber represents the old black lady in me. When I say that, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, but you see these old commercials where the older black grandma is like, I got the solution for you. It's fiber. You need more fiber. That's me. I'm like, I got the solution. Get more fiber. Benefiber is pretty good because you can't taste it. It's not like that thick stuff. So, so some of my task has been to fortify my body, which when you fortify your body, you fortify your mind, and you fortify your mind and your alertness, you can actually set those boundaries more quick because sometimes we are encroached upon because we're not paying attention. And so if we take care of our physical form through nutrition, sleep, and fitness, motion, and exercise, we increase our ability to be alert and thus address things a little quicker. All right, so there's my sharing. Peace, this is Candy. I hope you have a great day. I am glad you're here.